Hi everyone, and welcome to Steam Tweens. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a very simple design in Tinkercad. It's easy to use 3D design software. You might be using it in some of your classrooms already. And today I'm going to make a simple 3D stamp, so that way you get ideas and maybe start making your own creations after. Alright, so the first thing we do, we go into Tinkercad, go into our account, and click Create New Design. So it just takes a second to load here. Alrighty, so for our stamp, for the first part, we're going to scroll down here with basic shapes, and we're looking for the half sphere. So you click on the half sphere, click anywhere on your work plane. Perfect. The next thing we're going to do, we have to flip it 180 degrees. So we're going to click right here. We see this little arrow here. Click on the arrow, and we can do it manually, or we can just type it in. So I'm going to type in 180 to flip it upside down. Alright, now what we do, we click on it again, and we're going to change the height. So this middle box here, this is the height box. We click on it, and where it says 10, we're going to change it to 15. Hit enter, and you can see it raised up a bit. Now we're going to change the width a little bit as well. So this bottom little right box here in the right corner, click on that, and we're going to make it, I'm only going to change a little bit. Let's try 19 by 19. All right, perfect. Now, we're going to look for another shape here, the paraboloid. So if you see it on the right here, we're going to click on it, bring it onto your work plane, click again. All right, awesome. Now the top one here, this is the height. We're going to make this one a little bit taller. Let's try 25. And for the width and depth, let's do 19 by 19 as well for this one. All right, awesome. 19, perfect. Now we want to raise this one up a bit. To raise it up, we click on this black little dot here. We can do it manually, or once again, let's type it in. We want to bring this one up to 50. Perfect. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to align these two shapes. There's two ways to do that. You can either drag a shape around and try to put it right on top. You'll probably get very close, but an easier way, let's hit Control A, which selects everything on your work plane. And then right here, you're going to see this Align button. Click on that. This left dot will align them horizontally and now vertically. So now you can see they're perfectly aligned. I'm going to change the colors too, so they're both the same. So if we hit Control A again, we go to here, which is the color. Let's do, I feel like green today. Let's try green. All right, so there's our first shape. The next thing we're going to do is let's grab a box. Where's the box? Here it is. So click on the box, click again on your work plane, and now we're going to edit this one a bit. So we're going to make this one, let's see, for height, let's do 19. Okay, for the width, we're going to do 50, let's try 55. Actually, yeah, let's try 55 for this, see what happens. And for the depth, let's do 65. Perfect. All right, so now we have our square here. The next step we're going to do, let's round the corners a bit on this so they're not sharp corners. So that's a little bit different. So we're going to go here to the drop down and where the radius is. This is going to make it a little bit smoother. Let's type in, let's try 5. Let's see what happens. So now you can see it's rounded, almost like a thin bar of soap here. All right. Bring this over, so we have to lift this one up as well actually. So let's lift this to, let's try 37 for this one. So we're going to lift this to 37. Perfect. And once again we're going to align them, so Control A, and we hit the Align button. Let's horizontally align them, vertically align them. Perfect. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to join all these. So Control A again to select all of the items on the screen. And then this is the join button here. So we're going to group all the items together. So we hit that. Perfect. Now if you look at the work plane, you can see they're all connected. So let's bring that right back into the middle of the work plane. Awesome. The next thing we want to do is actually we need the image for the stamp. So there's different ways to do that. You could draw an image. I'm not artistic enough to do that, so I'm going to use one from the internet. So what I found is one of my favorite sites for doing that is flaticon.com. You can see it here. And what you're going to do is just search for an item. So because it's getting warmer now, let's search for a nice summer icon. So I'm just going to type in summer. Let's see what happens. And you're going to see all these icons that come up. So we can scroll down. Oh, here's a nice one. Nice sun here. So you click on it. Try to find one that's all black. It makes it easier when you're doing it. And these are SVG, which are vector icons, which are easier to use when you're doing 3D printing. So now we just hit on SVG. We're going to do the free download. And that's going to save. I'm just going to save that to my desktop here. We'll save that as summer. Perfect. Okay, so now that I've saved that, let's go back. And we want to import that item that we just saved. So we're going to go to import right here. Hit import. We're going to choose a file, or we can drag it onto our screen. We're going to go down, find that item that we just downloaded. So there it is, summer. All right. Just leave it as is. Hit import. Perfect. So you can see it's a really big icon. So let's zoom out a bit. So to do that, you just hit Control, and I'm just using the wheel on my mouse to back out. So let's make that a lot smaller. So when we're making it smaller, we click on one of the squares in the corners, but hit Shift at the same time so that everything scales at the same rate. So we're just going to make it a little bit smaller, bring it closer to our work plane. Oh, it has to be a lot smaller than that. All right, let's go back into our work plane here. All right, bring that up a bit. And let's do a height of about, that's only 1. That's way too short. So let's make a height of about, let's try 7 for this one. All right, that's perfect. Now we're going to raise this one up. So we hit this little cone at the top again. And we want to make this one, let's bring it up to about 50. We're going to have to play with this a bit after we get it. All right, so now let's drag it over to our icon here. Okay, that has to be brought up a little bit. And it's still a little bit too big, so hold Shift, size it down a bit. Let's bring it about into the middle, a little bit more. Perfect. All right, our stamp looks like here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to hit Control A, and we're going to group the items. Perfect. So we've actually made a stamp here. So when this prints out, you can actually just dab it in a little bit of ink, a little bit of paint, and you can make designs, do whatever you want with it. One thing cool about this is you can make so many different ones for your own stamps. The next step, what we have to do, actually the first thing we're going to do is when you're printing, if you print the way it is now, it's kind of hard because there's going to be a lot of support printed. So we can make this at a tilt. Let's tilt this at a 45-degree angle. So we're going to hit the little arrows here, and we're going to type 45. Perfect. So now you can see this is going to print a lot better. We can bring it down a bit because it doesn't look like it's right on the bottom. So let's hit this. And we're going to bring this down. We want to bring this down to 0. So it's touching the work plane. It'll make it a lot better for printing. So perfect. So I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. And the next thing to do, right when you're going to print, you go to Export. It's going to download your 3D print. You want to print it as an STL, so you hit STL. Then you can save it wherever you want. So you can save it, save, and you're done. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. See you next week. Bye-bye.